What up? So, a little bit more information on speed. That's kind of what I want to talk about. Some of y'all might have seen me saying that only 22 heroes out of the 72 are viable. I'm not kidding. Um, Basically, based on speed and the tiers of them, if the information we're getting from Team Instinct is right, which I'm pretty confident it is, or at least close to what it is, what it needs to be. Um, we've got a problem. You know, this whole post situation has kind of turned the meta upside down. I'm kind of tired of you guys who don't know the highest level game of play. I'm not talking about balancing it for your level. If it does screw it up for your level, so be it. You're only going to be there for a certain amount of time. When you get to where we're going, you're going to be the same as everybody else. You're going to deal with the same problem. So if you don't want them fixed on your level and you want to live that way in that, dream world for a couple weeks, maybe a month, it doesn't take long to get to 60. Okay? It's not going to take too much longer to get to 70. When did I hit 60? It wasn't but like a month down the road. And I wasn't filling up crystals every single day and blowing through all the energy. So you will get there. If you do all your dailies, do all your stuff. But this whole high-level PvP thing needs to be fixed. It's kind of a compounded issue. There's a lot of separate little problems that created it. And the addition of Poe into the lineup, you might think that it's kind of benign, but it's not. Poe really is affecting the high-level aspects of this game because he's very tanky. He has the highest tenacity in the game right now. He is fast. He's second turn fast, and if our gear calculations are correct from what we're getting from data miners, it looks like he's going up to 143. That will shoot him, based off Team Instinct's data, into the first turn order. If that happens, that will create some problems. Now, the thing is that Qui-Gon Jinn, he's in the second turn order. He's definitely going behind Poe. Before, he could potentially go at the same time or before him. But now he's going to be behind him. That's not a problem because Qui-Gon has a counter for him. Qui-Gon's also getting 140 potency, potentially. So Qui-Gon's actually going to have less of a time. So you know what? It's not going to be my problem anymore. Because, I roll Qui-Gon. I like Qui-Gon. Some people say Qui-Gon's OP. I disagree. He's actually one of the more balanced heroes because heroes are supposed to be able to do things. They're supposed to be able to serve functions. You don't pick a hero to not do anything. But based on what CG would have you believe, maybe you do. Because I can tell you, Plo Koon, I was real clever when I thought, that'd be fun as hell. People have been asking me, how's your Plo Koon doing? Yeah, what they said was true. Plo Koon sucks. Guess what? It's really awesome when Poe has a follow-up old Ben and you get mind tricked and you're already getting beat to hell and then you have Plo Koon and you're like, I'm ability block, but I can still dispel this Poe. No, you can't. 0 potency, gets up to 20, gets resisted all the time. Thanks. Thank you for that. I invested time in that. I worked on that. Thought it'd be cool. Clone Sergeant, man, yeah, he's not fully leveled yet, but I'm telling you already, I can already tell, he's not going to be doing much. You know what? He gets 108 speed. So that means he's in 4th turn order, and he does less damage than 1st order TIE Pilot and every other DPS. Why is it that the 1st turn and the 2nd turn heroes and 3rd turn heroes do more damage than some of the slowest people in the game? He doesn't have much health. He's got 8k. He's 6 stars. He's near 7 geared. Do we have a lot of health coming to him? 250. Some strength. 250 plus 180. Wow. He'll get smoked. He's going to be useless. Here's another one. Magna Guard. He don't work. He just doesn't work. His skills, 40, he'll never gain defense up. Never seen it happen. Not a day in my life. This works. He removes turn meter. Wow. You know, he's almost gear 7, so he's almost purple geared. But you know when you're 5-star and you have 6,600 health and you're a tank? Yeah, anti-Jedi tank. But luckily it doesn't say tank right there. It just says it in his description. So maybe that's accurate, because he sure as hell ain't a tank. Stormtrooper Han, he's great. Aside from the fact that he's about 4K less than Poe, he's a turn slower. So here's how it works for you who don't know. Here's the meta for paid players. Here's what you would do. You'd get Poe. You'd get Old Ben. You'd get First Order TIE Pilot, or you get Leia. And then you can throw anybody else in. You can throw a Phase Man, whatever the hell you want. Because here's what's going to happen. Poe's going to go second turn. Okay? Before anybody, even any skills in the world, have a chance to stun him or block him, will he pull off this taunt. And when his taunt comes, you might have a Poe, they might have a Poe. Whoever's Poe taunts first will push their entire team to the front of the line. Because it's going to take 25% turn meter off everyone on your team who hasn't gone yet. And it's not, they don't resist it. So 25% of their turn meter basically takes everyone on their side, no matter what speed they were. Their turn 3 characters, like Old Ben and Phasma, they're going to go first now. They're going to go in front of all your people, be it second turn people, whatever. Okay? So now Old Ben's coming down your throat. And Old Ben's going to mind trick you. So now you're going to be ability blocked. So now your Qui-Gon that you guys think is going to... First off, potentially Qui-Gon could have already gone. So now you're already screwed. And if he didn't go, he's still going to be turn metered. Denied. So Old Ben's going to go first. And guess what's going to happen? He's going to mind trick you. You're not going to resist it. He's going to mind trick every single person on your team. Okay? The only way that I've beaten Poe a lot without switching up my team comp completely was to basically focus Poe as soon as I started the game. Qui-Gon Jinn with the pull-in assist. Sometimes you get lucky pulling First Order TIE Pilot and you'd hit him so hard, so fast, you'd almost kill him. Okay? And then once you've done half that work, even if he does taunt and Old Ben ability blocks, you're going to cut through him, and then you're going to be able to start working on characters before First Order TIE Pilot kills the second of your people. Because he's going to kill one. That's for sure. So, you know, where do you go from here? Well, the thing is, when you're ability blocked, you think, well, Plo Koon's going to be great because you can't use Qui-Gon. And you guys think, what, you can just sit there? I mean, you can watch my last video of my last PvP. It's not going to happen. So, Talia, she sucks. Mace Windu sucks. Jawa suck. Boba Fett's okay. Boba Fett's okay as a leader. Night Sisters, unproven, slow as shit. Can they beat the meta? Probably not. You know, we got some guys out there offering how to beat the meta. There are teams that can't defend themselves, so meaning you might take the spot and you sure as hell can't hold it while you're sitting there waiting for your PvP timer to go down, so you're going to be stuck there. But it will work, but what does it rely on? Well, Scythus has pulled up a free-to-play variant, which I'm interested to try and see, and I don't remember what he listed there. But Scythus is not lying. Scythus knows what he's talking about, okay? And he is one of the biggest testers for the game. He is smart as a whip, and he knows what's going on. He has a lot of access, so he's somebody whose word you should trust. But at the same time, you know, they're mostly relying on speed. These team comps are relying on speed. So, it's boring. You know, all these other guys, they don't really matter anymore. If you're not super fast, I wish I hadn't queued into this because I didn't really want to bring Dooku on this, but it's fine. I've brought in Dooku now, because Dooku has a stun, and if they have an old Ben, you have to stun him, because if you don't, you lose. So, it is what it is. I should probably just kill him now, before we ever get into any... Yeah, because she's just going to heal. Oh. You know, my Dooku is not leveled in the slightest. Now, see how he didn't resist there? That's because he can't resist. I've heard people tell me how awesome Han is. Han is a piece of crap. He could be awesome, but he's not. He's not ever going to be. Don't use him. I own him 6-star. He's fully geared. Mine is. I wouldn't use him for crap in this meta. He used to be kind of a god, because he was one of the first of his kind. He would really surprise people with his turn meter generation, but not anymore. He's a joke. He sucks. He could be good, but because Poe has shifted the meta so hard, it's a waste of space. Plus, he doesn't really have a follow-up. You know, old Ben could potentially go before him, and then, you know, what would you do? I mean, I guess if either of them go pretty quickly within each other, they're going to be fine. He would synergize okay. But here's the thing about Han. Poe is a second rounder. He's working on, you know, he's basically working on, dang, should I go with, I mean, Scythus has been switching it up, so I don't know if I need Dooku anymore. Scythus doesn't look like he's doing the same thing he's been doing. Well, shit. This is not good in the slightest. I'm just going to have to go straight for Poe and try to do as much damage as possible, because that's what's going to happen. Oh, we're looking pretty good right now, actually. Yeah, that's actually to be expected. I do this first. Yeah. So anyways, Han is a third turner, so he actually doesn't really, he does generate turn meter versus taking away, so he actually can help some faster people, but it would more be about kind of moving people up the chain versus, you know, helping people already up there that are, you know, have already gone. So it's kind of helping people up, like, you know, 4th and 5th team players. So Han sort of, in some ways, makes slower heroes a little bit more viable. But he's just too squishy to have the kind of effect, and too slow to have the kind of effect that Poe's having on the PvP right now. So, but you see, we're kind of tired of it. Scythus is tired of running it. I think Pilot is a little tired of running it. JSA is tired of running it. Everybody's trying easy stuff, but as you can see, the easy stuff is kind of easy to beat. Because trust me, if Scythus didn't want me to win right now, if he wasn't testing right now, I wouldn't be winning right now. The only way I would win, Scythus runs a comp with Poe, with Old Ben, and it is a nasty combo. And the only way I would win is bringing in Dooku. I want to say this, for sure. Old Ben is not OP. You're wrong. I thought it too. It's not true. Once you understand more of the mechanics of the game and start to see things from a big perspective, you start to see Old Ben's not really as powerful as he seems to be. Now, his power, he's just like Qui-Gon, in my opinion. He's the whole package. He's got a lot in his kit. He's very useful. He's not useless, because you don't pick heroes who are useless. But his usefulness is mitigated by multiple factors. That is, he's a third turn character, so he's pretty slow. And all somebody would have to do, if he's the cornerstone of your build, Old Ben is, then he's vulnerable simply due to the fact that Dooku is out there. You see, I'm using right now, I've been using a 4-star Dooku. It's just what I have. Yes, I've been farming him. You know, he's level 57 4-star. But that's not what I brought him on my team for. I brought him on my team to win games. He has a powerful stun that's great against Jedi. And as long as old Ben is out there, Dooku will remain viable. And there are other characters that he counters too. He counters Qui-Gon Jinn. He counters Luminara because he's got a 90% stun. He's got the highest chance stun in the game. Okay? For sure stun. I might be neglecting one person, but they're obviously not someone that's played very often. I know Daka can't touch that. Asajj can't touch that. Asajj gets 40%. Daka, I think, gets 40%. Good characters for their stuns. Asajj is way too slow, and you'll never see her go. And if you were waiting for somebody that slow, then hell, why don't you bring Darth Maul? But that's a side point. Anyways, Jedi, none of them can really be overpowered as long as he exists. Because he's a counter to a Jedi. And even if you ran a full Jedi team, there's not enough Jedi with enough power, with enough synergy, to make a godly team. Well, for one, there's no Jedi with a taunt. So, potentially, there's always going to be that squishy, weak character that you want to protect. Even on a Jedi team like Qui-Gon. He would be your number one target on a Jedi team if you were fighting, because he's just so easy to kill and he does a lot for his team as far as damage and generation. He's similar to First Order TIE Pilot with much more manageable damage. You go for him. You kill him. There's no taunter for the Jedi team, a full Jedi team. So people ask me what my dream team is. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because there's no Jedi to taunt, for one. So there's no Jedi that's fast enough and has a taunt to keep you off of all your other guys before they get destroyed. Now, Leia and First Order TIE Pilot, they are good, and I don't think they're quite OP. I think Leia's pretty squishy, and she's got much more manageable. I don't know if they stealth nerfed her, because a couple of weeks ago, I felt like she was just, like, shooting 4 or 5 times in a damn row, and she would never stop until you were dead. She hit you hard. But I haven't been seeing that as much lately. But First Order TIE Pilot, I don't think he's OP either. That's all he does. He's a third turner, meaning he goes after 2 rows of characters, so you could have plenty of guys on the front row that can kind of deal with him. Like Dooku, I wouldn't necessarily go Dooku and stun him. But the thing is, First Order TIE Pilot is only really beneficial because of the team that surrounds him. He could use maybe with a little reduction in health, but he doesn't upset me that bad. Yes, I have one to kill him, but I could take out First Order TIE Pilot of my team and still beat one with one. You know, you just have to have... I always thought of Qui-Gon Jinn as a damage generator. And that's what he is. And that's kind of... You have to always keep in mind the amount of damage you want to do. Tankiness doesn't really work in this game. But so long as Dooku is out there, those are not OP. Plo Koon doesn't work. So we have a lot of haves and have-nots. So when you're basing, if you compare Old Ben and Qui-Gon Jinn to those guys, you'd say, yeah, they're OP. But part of the problem is that a lot of things are just underpowered. Just simply very, very weak. Droid teams, you know, they can be kind of good with Poggle and everything they got going on. Now, Lobot and all that speed stuff, that shit don't work. And droids are kind of slow. And they have counters in almost every aspect of the game, which sucks. Rey does a lot of damage. She's pretty good. She's speedy, but she's going to be pretty damn squishy coming into level 70. I mean... Ugnaught, I mean, I hear bad things. I don't have any particular experience with them. Greedo, I mean, thermal detonator with 3 turns when PvP only lasts 2. I'm just saying, you know, people are talking about it like, well, if you nerf Poe, you know, then you'll ruin it for this and that guy, this and that guy. I don't really agree. We need some turn meter generation in the middle, like turn 3, because we don't want to generate and make turn 1ers go faster. We want to make 4th and 5th guys have a chance to attack before they're all murdered to death. And that's what makes no damn sense in this game, is you have a lot of slow people like Darth Maul who will never see the light of day, Asajj Ventress, because they are pretty squishy and they are slow. So if you guys do the research and you examine the speed charts and stuff, you'll see that when the speed team does come out, and what would be considered my meta team, I see it on here a lot. It's Poe. And Poe, I don't think you make leader. I don't think he would be the leader on it. I don't think Qui-Gon should be. I see a lot of guys still running the Qui-Gon leader. They're not paying attention. They're not listening. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't do that. Unless you just wanted to buff Poe's damage, I guess, a little bit. But it would be Poe, Old Ben, First Order TIE Pilot, Poggle, and Geonosian Soldier. That would be my jam, because you have, and you could switch out Old Ben for Qui-Gon Jinn, because then you could just generate a lot of attacks, and Old Ben can be countered, so could Qui-Gon Jinn. But people won't feel as obligated to run Dooku against that kind of team comp, because they won't care as much. Old Ben, you almost have to run a counter squad, because what's going to happen is Poe's going to taunt, Poggle may go first, and Poggle's going to give you offense up on all your team. There's no way that somebody's going to be able to remove that on all your team unless they run Asajj, and they're not going to be seeing the light of day. If you had Asajj on your team, you'll be dead before you ever get to try to pull your dispel. So she's going to, Poe's going to taunt, Old Ben's going to mind trick you, Poggle's going to offense up you, First Order TIE Pilot's going to one-hit one of you. At that point, you've been reduced down 25 turn meter, then you've been reduced down 50% turn meter, and then, who are we forgetting? Or Geonosian Soldier. He would have gone pretty early in the game and called in an assist, and he would have hit one of you guys pretty damn hard before or after offense up, and he would have possibly dragged in Poggle himself and done 50% more damage, both of them. He's super cheap to upgrade. He's a really good character, actually, and he's pretty damn fast. So, at that point, you are probably 2 men down. You are ability blocked. And if you brought Qui-Gon in, you're probably 3-man down. Or near 3-man. You probably lost your healer. You're on your last leg, and you are behind a Poe taunt. So, you're either, best case scenario, you're 1 guy down, you're 4 men up, and you're just now using your first ability and your ability blocked. I mean, that's best case scenario, man. Deal with that. It's going to be over because First Order TIE Pilot is coming back around again. And he's going to kill somebody else. And he's got advantage up and offense up. So everybody's going to be doing super heavy damage to you. And you won't be able to take it off because your ability blocked. And you won't be able to take off Poe's taunt because there's nobody in line to do it, and anybody who is ability blocked. And anybody who's not, like Plo Koon, they don't exist. They don't work. So, just saying, that is the meta. So if you want to ask me, now, is it partially paid? Well, Poggle, Poe are free. Geonosian Soldier's free. You don't have to have Old Ben. So, First Order TIE Pilot you can grind. If you were going to fit somebody else in there, maybe IG-86. Just because he's another call-in assister and you just need to pump out your damage high enough to be a great defender. Well, you could do Luminara and that would be another ability block. And you wouldn't have Old Ben's ability block, but maybe in AI she might do something useful. But, it is what it is. Wonder what pilot's running right now. This is pretty much my general team. So, I'm just running you through a little bit of PvP and kind of talking to you about, balance. Like I said, because I don't have Poe here, if I had Poe here, or excuse me, see, that's going to be great. That is going to win me the game right there. I was lucky, there's a little bit of RNG, but that set me up really well. We're going to try to ability block him. We got it. It's over and done with. Don't go after him. Now we are slow, but we get to go first. And we pretty much won at this point. So, it's a good team comp right here. This is a viable team comp, but I got very lucky with that Qui-Gon Jinn strike on Poe. A lot of times I would even bring in, like, I would be pulling in Phasma and I wouldn't do jack for damage. So that was just a little fortuitous, a little bit of luck there. But that was good. That makes me happy. That offense down really makes you hit pretty soft. It'd be nice to see some more ability downs, actually. I wouldn't be upset about that. I know what I'm doing, killing this guy and giving him those buffs. I'm just not thinking he can do too much with it, see? So, and that's what you would have to do if you were fighting versus that team. He runs one of the best counter teams out there. And that's the only thing you can really hope for. Now, if I didn't pull in somebody like First Order TIE Pilot on that dive in, then he would be maybe half health. And he would definitely still taunt. Old Ben would ability mind trick me. First Order TIE Pilot you saw killed Qui-Gon? Because I had Luminara. So he killed Qui-Gon there almost, boom, like that. I mean, so imagine that after a taunt. I mean, he immediately kills Qui-Gon Jinn, and now I'm stuck in a taunt, and I'm ability blocked, and I don't have Qui-Gon. And that's 2 rounds of that, and you only live for 2. So, and you're offensive down. So there's massive synergy. I don't think that Old Ben is overpowered, but I will say that that combination there is just absolutely deadly. So, just touching base with y'all, kind of going over my thoughts with some different stuff, and, you know, looks like prizes are about to drop here, so I'm going to get on my PvP thing every day. You know, you guys probably know your time that your PvP awards drop, so that's something that you guys should try to do. I am working towards ETH Koth. You know, you gotta trust people, because people say on the forums, if they are saying Plo Koon is bad, he's not any good, and you hear that pretty consistently, and people are like, yeah, I second that, then you kind of gotta take wind of that. You also have to take things with a grain of salt, because sometimes people just have a prejudice. You know, sometimes people think something sucks when it doesn't suck. Sometimes people think something's really, really good when it's not really that good. Out of, you know, maybe in a certain perspective or in a situation. Well, same thing goes with these good characters. I've kept reading people say ETH Koth, you know, they've been mentioning some, you know, nice things about him. Hey, he's pretty, his health is serviceable. His damage on his first push is pretty good. If people saying those things, you know, you take heed of that. And now, I get a lot of blowback, but when I first started, I reached out to high-level players, and they told me Qui-Gon Jinn ain't shit. They said he's trash. You know, and that may not have been the whole... I may not have gotten the whole perspective from every single soft launch player, but reaching out to level 60s who'd been playing a while and been following the game, they kind of said he's not that good. And I was researching his abilities, and I said, I don't believe that. You know, and I didn't know anything about speed back in the day. I just saw, you know, his abilities and thought, hey, this guy's going to be pretty solid. Now I know something you guys should know so you won't be noobs. Pay attention to those speed statistics and know the tiers of speed so that you know what turn they're going to be. And don't, until the meta changes, you guys need to think of PvP, unfortunately, in the terms of 1 and 2nd, you know, turns. And you at least need 2 to 3 people in the first 2 turns that are going to do something to make it so your 4th and 5th turn, if you really want to try somebody down there with the slow speeds like Darth Maul, you need to know that you got a team that's going to back his ass up and make it so he can get there. Poe can do that for you. First Order officer can do that for you. Nobody else can do that for you because by that time, all the first and second rounders will have done something to you. You know, taking control of the match is everything. Anyways, I just read stuff about Heath Koth, and I consider his droid synergies, his anti-droid stuff, I think that's just icing on the cake. What I look at and what I'm interested in, don't take this as for sure thing, but it's just one thing I want to test out, especially moving into the new era and level 70 is, he's one of the only guys with such a high level stun for everyone. Dooku's got the best stun in the game, but that's only the Jedi. It's everybody else, it's half. So actually, Heath Koth has one of the best stuns in the game. It's got a pretty decent amount of damage to it. So, I'm going to try him out, and I'm going to see and level him out and, you know, give him a chance. And he is a second rounder. So that's going to be interesting because he actually will get to be stunning in the second round. He's going to be potentially stunning at, I believe, 75% chance. 100% chance, I believe, of ability block. He has 60% potency. I'd like to see some more on him. He's got fair health, so I'm just hoping that he'll sort of bring in a little bit more versatility into my squad, because, see, stuns like Dooku's, when they're semi-reliable, like 3 out of 4 times, I'll take that. That can really change, you know, your counter strat, so you can become sort of an attacker team. So anyways, I'm going to sign off. Just sharing a couple PvP battles with you and talking to you guys about, you know, the speed tier situation and how important that really is to you. So we're going to keep talking about this topic and keep discussing PvP because it's really important that you guys understand that. I wish that I had, because I would have planned a little bit differently. But you guys, at this juncture, I would say, free-to-play, you're always trying to keep up and catch up, but I'm giving you the latest and greatest update, and that is that it appears to be that, you know, speed and tier is everything right now. Will that change in the future? I don't know. But it's just something you guys need to plan on now. So, good luck, and keep up to date, and, you know, hit me with any comments. I always try to hit you guys back and, you know, give you, you know, whatever knowledge I have. So, and if I don't know something, you know, I reach out to people. So, I'm not infallible. And, you know, I don't know everything, and I don't think or believe that I know everything. So, if you guys have something interesting as well, and feel free to disagree, you know. So, I really appreciate all comments. So, take care, guys.